You've heard the slogan, bros before hoes, said like law, said like honor, but most men don't use it as honor. They use it as a lever, and the man holding the lever is rarely your brother. He's a competitor in a friendly costume. The enemy isn't women. The enemy is drift. The enemy is guilt. The enemy is that soft reflex in you that wants to be seen as loyal more than you want to be safe. Because once a man can guilt you, he can steer you. He can take your money, your time, your opportunities, your confidence, and he'll do it with a smile and a handshake. He'll do it while calling you bro. The mission tonight is simple. Break the spell. Learn the difference between a friend and a convenience. Learn what loyalty really costs. And learn the rule that saves men from social traps. Your responsibilities outrank your relationships. We'll start with the oldest trick. Then we'll go deeper into why men fall for it. And by the end, you'll know exactly what to say, what to watch, and what to stop doing before you donate your life to someone else's advantage. Welcome back. We are back with another one. Make sure you hit that like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. All right, let's get into it. A slogan becomes dangerous when it replaces thinking. Bros before hoes sounds like a code of honor, but in the wild, it's often a negotiation tactic. A man wants something you want. He can't outplay you directly, so he tries to disarm you morally. He frames your competition as betrayal. He makes your desire look like disloyalty. He turns your spine into a courtesy. Watch the scene. There's a woman. You notice her. He notices her. Then he approaches you with that grin that says he's already moved the chess piece in his head. Come on, man. I liked her first. Bros before hoes. He's not invoking loyalty. He's invoking hesitation. Most men respond emotionally. They don't want to be the bad guy. They don't want the group to label them disloyal. So they step back, pretending it was their choice, while resentment quietly ferments. The dangerous man doesn't argue with the slogan. He interrogates the relationship underneath it. Because the real question isn't bros before hoes. The real question is, who are you to me exactly? And if the answer is not much, then the slogan is just theft with a moral wrapper. Men get shamed for having priorities. A certain kind of person hears my best interests and translates it as selfish, cold, immoral. Good. Let them talk. They are not carrying your life. The truth is clean. If you don't protect your best interests, nobody will do it for you. Not consistently. Not at the cost of their own comfort, not when it becomes inconvenient. You have obligations, bills, health, a future you either build or you beg for later. Maybe you have a family, maybe you have people depending on your stability. That responsibility is not negotiable. Friendship is real, but it is not sacred above survival. A man who demands you sacrifice your well-being to prove loyalty is not asking for brotherhood. He's asking for control. There's a line you need burned into your mind. Relationships are optional. Consequences are mandatory. So when a bro wants you to stand down, to stay quiet, to lose money, to delay your progress, to tolerate disrespect, he's not testing your loyalty. He's testing your boundaries, and boundaries are the difference between a man and a resource. Some men don't win through competence. They win through the atmosphere. They talk loudly. They laugh big. They act familiar fast. They use touch, jokes, shared drinks, shared stories, instant intimacy. They create the illusion of closeness so you'll skip the verification step. This is how strangers become brothers in 2 weeks. You meet a guy, maybe it's work, maybe it's a project, maybe it's the gym. He's charismatic, he's always around. Then comes the moment where something valuable is on the table. Money, credit, a deal, a woman, a connection. And he plays the friendship card. Come on, be a pal. Don't do me like that. He wants you to feel like you're hurting a brother. But you're not hurting a brother. You're refusing a transaction that harms you. This is the psychological mechanism. Familiarity creates false trust. Your brain mistakes repeated exposure for proven character. You start to feel like you know him, but what you know is his performance. A real friend doesn't need to rush closeness. A real friend can survive a boundary. A real friend respects the word no without turning it into a guilt sermon. The man who collapses when you enforce a boundary was never standing on loyalty. He was standing on access. Men like to pretend they're not romantic. They'll mock love stories. They'll posture as practical. But watch how men talk about loyalty, brotherhood, day ones, brothers in arms. Watch how they hunger for a tribe that would bleed for them. That hunger is ancient. We came up in small bands. We hunted dangerous things. When you depend on another man to keep you alive, a bond forms that isn't sentimental. It's structural. It's forged by shared risk and shared consequence. That's why soldiers run into fire to pull a friend back, not because of abstract heroism, because that loyalty is real. It was tested in terror. It was proven in darkness. Now, look at modern life. Comfortable, insulated, individualized. The tribe becomes a group chat. The hunt becomes a job. The risk becomes emotional discomfort. And men still crave the old bond, but they try to build it out of convenience. So they call acquaintances brothers. They hand out loyalty like candy. They confuse shared laughs with shared fate. And that romantic hunger is exactly what predators feed on. They sense the longing. They offer fantasy. They say, I got you before you ever need them. They sell you a brotherhood that costs you and pays them. Most men in your life are not enemies, but they are not allies either. They are passengers. You share a season with them, a workplace, a hobby, a neighborhood, a phase. Then life shifts, and the bond dissolves without drama because it was never anchored to anything real. That's normal. The mistake is demanding loyalty where there was never a shared contract. The mistake is assuming alignment where there is only proximity. Your interests will never perfectly match another man's interests, even with good men, even with decent men. And when interests diverge, the truth comes out. A man who actually values you will negotiate fairly when interests clash. He won't try to hypnotize you with slogans. He won't ask you to injure yourself to prove love, so stop saying, but we're boys. A better sentence is, we get along. That's not the same as you being entitled to my sacrifice. Friendship can exist, but it must be earned, tested, and maintained. Otherwise, it's just a story you tell yourself so you don't feel alone. Here's a test that cuts through most illusions. If your life collapses at 3 a.m., who shows up? Not to talk, not to send a meme, to show up, with effort, with risk, with cost. Most of the men who call you bro won't pick up, not because they're evil, because they're busy being human, protecting their own comfort, their own responsibilities, their own sleep. That's not bitterness, that's reality. So measure people correctly. Don't demand blood brother loyalty from casual friends, but also don't give blood brother loyalty to casual friends. This is the mature posture. Enjoy people without surrendering yourself to them. Have a drink, have a laugh, share the conversation, but do not confuse entertainment with allegiance. When a man asks you for a sacrifice, make him answer one question in your mind. Has he ever sacrificed for me? Not in words, in time, in effort, in protection, in consistency. If the answer is no, then his request isn't loyalty. It's a tax. Back to the woman, back to the deal, back to the moment of competition. The sneaky move isn't that he wants her. Everyone wants what they want. The move is that he tries to disarm you with morality while he stays perfectly selfish. He wants you to play by rules that only apply to you. If he was truly your brother, he'd have a different approach. He'd either step back himself, or he'd speak plainly and accept whatever you choose without a campaign of guilt. Brothers don't need pressure, they have respect. So when a man tries to bros before hoes you into submission, treat it like what it is, information. It tells you he doesn't believe he can win cleanly. It tells you he believes you're vulnerable to social pressure, and it tells you he's willing to manipulate the bond to get what he wants. At that moment, your objective isn't to be polite. Your objective is to be clear. You don't need a speech. You need a line. We're not brothers like that. And then you act according to your interest, your values, your responsibilities. Because a man who can be guilted can be owned. You have an inner bastard, not a villain, a guardian. He's the part of you that doesn't apologize for protecting your future, the part that doesn't get drunk on compliments, the part that hears "be a pal" and translates it properly. Let me take from you. Most men try to kill that part of themselves because they're afraid of being seen as harsh. Don't kill him, train him. You don't need to be cruel. You need to be unwilling to be used. There's a difference. Cruelty enjoys damage. Discipline prevents damage. The world will offer you endless soft traps disguised as loyalty. The price of staying naive is that you'll keep paying to belong. So here's the foundation. Loyalty is not a slogan. It's a history of aligned actions under pressure. And your life is not community property. That's the foundation. But knowing the principle isn't enough. In the next video, we go to war with execution. Once again, I appreciate you for checking out the video. Make sure you hit that like for the algorithm and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you on the next one.